Good morning again. So we are back, but this time it's a different kind of company. It's about Walmart. I think you are familiar with Walmart. But before that, let's try to go back again about what is this all about. It's all about what we call part of speech. So remember last time we did like with Sephora, a very short article about history or what is about Sephora. This time, instead of going again with Sephora, we go to another supermarket or another company. It's about Walmart. I think girls, maybe some of you are not familiar with Walmart. You just imagine here in Bangkok, we have Macro. If not Macro, maybe you can have Lotus or maybe you can have Big C. These are examples of the same nature, same kind of company like a Walmart. And by the way, Walmart is not British, it is American. So it's a very big retailer in America. But we don't, I think, if I am not mistaken, we do not have Walmart here in Bangkok or in Thailand. So I will try to read this one. So do not forget when you hear the word or the supermarket Walmart, I am talking like Big C, Tesco, or maybe Macro. So we say here that Walmart is an example of a huge retailer. When you say huge, it's very large. Okay, and then when you hear the word retailer, that means if you are the buyer, not the seller, but the buyer, of course, you can buy by pieces, okay, by maybe a piece or 2 pieces or maybe 3. It's not wholesale, but then you are talking of what do you call by pieces. So you want something to buy, then the place to go is Walmart. So it is a huge retailer, okay, in America. And then it is very popular all over the cities in America. So as when you go anywhere in the USA, then there are different branches of Walmart. Then it sells, or what kind of goods Walmart sells. So it sells a huge selection of quality products. When you say quality, then the quality, I mean the things you buy, not inferior, but superior quality. And then at a cheaper price. So when you compare this shop to another shop, then you can say that the price is much cheaper than the usual shops. Well, because I think they have this kind of way of doing business with some businesses. So we say that the price is really cheaper. And then at present, Walmart wants to expand in Europe. But I think there is a problem. Remember that when you go to the part of Europe, they have Tesco, because we know that Tesco is British, but then this retailer, they want to expand. When you say expand, they want to open their own business in Europe, but it is difficult because of some problems. Okay, Europe has, what is the problem? One of the problems is Europe has its limited space. Not exactly a lot. They have a lot of lots or lands to build a new Walmart, but then it's very limited when it comes to space for building new stores. And then it is also very expensive to do business in Europe. Well, just comparing, like for example, comparing baht, euro, and then dollars, I think you can see the difference between the currency exchange. So it is very expensive to do business in Europe. When you want to open a shop, any kind of shop in Europe, then you have to pay a lot of money, especially when you want to rent. You don't own the piece of land, but then, the piece of property, then you have to rent. And then this rent is kind of what we call expensive. It's not cheap, but then you have to pay a lot of money, a lot of euros, so that you can open your business. That's why Walmart is having a second thought of opening their own branch in Europe. So, but who knows, maybe in the future, Walmart will be in Europe. So this is all about a very short explanation, short history or short description about an American retailer, and then we call it Walmart. So comparing again the nationality of these two retailers, Tesco is British. Tesco is also an example of a retailer, but Tesco is British. And then Walmart is an example also of a retailer, and then, but not exactly British, but it is an American supermarket or an American retailer. Now, I have here another continuation of part of speech. Why is it that you notice that we study a lot about part of speech? Because part of speech is very important when you write a sentence. So if you don't know exactly the word is a noun or a verb or an adjective or an adverb, it's kind of difficult for you girls to write a very simple sentence. So that's why from this course or from this subject, there are a lot of parts of speech to remember, a lot of part of speech to study. So this is the one coming from the Walmart, an American retailer. So I have here the first one. So all you have to do is you guess, make a wild guess if the word is an example of a noun, okay? If you think that this word is a noun, then you write letter N. If the word is an example of a verb, an action word, then you go with the verb. And then another one is when you want to describe something, you call it adjective. Adjective can be like exciting, expansive, like studying English is boring. Boring is as adjective. Like you want to describe the room is bright. Maybe the room is clean, bright, adjective, clean, adjective. It can be any word, maybe negative or maybe a good word to describe someone, describe something. Like for example, when you want to describe your teacher, maybe you say, my teacher is good looking. Good looking is example of adjective. My teacher is tall. Tall is adjective. So I hope you understand what I'm talking about. This one about adjective. The last one, we are talking of adverb. There are so many kinds of adverbs. We have adverb of time, as long as it is related to time, like yesterday, last year, tomorrow. These are example of adverb. Maybe adverb of place. It can be like an adverb. Or maybe an example of manner, like she dances beautifully. As long as not exactly all the words, but then if you have the ly, if you have the ly ending of a word, then you call it like an adverb. Like for example, the adjective, normally it comes from the adjective. Like for example, the word slow. It is an example of adjective, but then when you add the word slowly, then it can be an adverb. We call it adverb of manner, like beautiful, beautifully, cheap, cheaply, slow, and then slowly. For fast, we do not say fastly, okay? Fast can be an example of an adverb. So Let us try this example from Walmart. So the first one here is example. You can say example or you can say examples, okay? So it is an example of, it is an example of a noun. I have here examples. So the word example is a noun. Next, you have huge. If you don't know the meaning of huge, it means very large. So the word large is example of adjective. So at the same time, the word is an adjective. If the meaning is adjective, at the same time, the other word is also an adjective. Next, we have retailer. From the word retail, then it is an example of a noun. Next, we have popular, or in other words, it is an example of adjective. I am very popular in my school, or maybe like you, my classmate is very popular in my school. It means a lot of people know your classmates. So here we go with popular. Huge again, they are the same. I don't know what happened here, but they are the same, okay? Huge adjective, like oh, this time adjective again. Don't worry, I don't know what happened, 2 times. Then we have quality, okay? Not quantity. When you say quantity is the amount. Quality is how good is something. So when you say quality, it is example of a noun. Next, you have the word cells. You can have cell, or maybe you can have cells as a singular verb. And then another one here is expand. Make it bigger. Expand, it is example of a verb. And then cheaper, not exactly a noun, but then cheaper is an example of adjective. There are some example of adjectives when you compare to another person or another maybe place or another thing, then you add er, like cheap, cheaper, and then the cheapest, clean, cleaner, the cleanest, dirty, dirtier, and then the dirtiest, like long, longer, and then the longest, wide, wider, and then the widest. So this one from the word cheap. So you have cheap, the price is not expensive, the opposite of expensive. Cheap, cheaper, and then the cheapest. So the word cheap is adjective. At the same time, cheaper is also an adjective. Once here is example of a verb as used in the passage. Difficult means not easy, okay? So it's hard or it's difficult. Example of adjective. Like for example, when you study English, like when you say, for me, English is difficult. So followed from this sentence, we can say that the word difficult is an adjective. It's different when you say difficulty, it's a noun. But then when you say difficult, it is an adjective. Problem or maybe problems, we can say it is example of a noun. And then space or maybe you say spaces, it can be a noun. Something, so noun. Limited as used in the sentence, as used in the passage, it is example of adjective. Like for example, limited. And then here you go with space or spaces. So this one is a noun. And then limited here, not a verb, but it is an example of adjective because you have the word here, space or spaces, like a noun. And then the last one, like the word cheap, adjective. And then this one, expensive, example of an adjective. So as long as you describe someone, you describe something, it is adjective. An action word is a verb. And then this one can be a person, can be a thing, or maybe an animal. As long as it's not an action word, it's an example of a noun. So there you go, girls, about Walmart, and then some example of part of speech. Remember again for the forthcoming midterm exam, then you have here part of speech. We have noun, we have verb, adjective, and then the other one is an adverb. Forget about preposition, conjunction, interjunction, and so on. I need only 4, okay? Noun, verb, adjective, and then you go with the adverb. And then the last one, just read by yourself. I need example of your own part of speech. Again, you can use any word as long as it is related to business, any kind of word. So you have here noun, verb, adjective, and adverb. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Again, use your notebook to compile this because this is part of your marking system. So here, you have exactly 5 examples about business, not everyday word, but about business. So I'll see you all again, girls. Next time again, same time, and then same teacher, and then same subject, introduction to business. For the meantime,